Good morning. I'm Catherine, and welcome to my hillside garden in Northeast Pennsylvania, Zone 6. Today I have a lot of things going on. I don't know how much I'll actually be able to share, but I am going to pot up the sweet potato vines. It's still going to be too cool, I think, to actually plant them. Even though yesterday and today are in their 90s, we're going to go back to some cooler weather in the evenings, so I want to wait another couple weeks since I've never done sweet potatoes before. Also, I've seeded up in cups Brussels sprouts, flower sprouts, and Long Island cheese pumpkin. Now, a lot of people will plant their Brussels sprouts in the spring, and once you transplant them, the days to maturity could be anywhere from about 80 to 100 days. That takes you into midsummer, really. So for good Brussels sprouts, you generally want to seed them mid to late May and then transplant them in the beginning of July, because then your crops will come due as frost comes near, and they taste much better after they've been touched by frost. So I've planted 4 different kinds of Brussels sprouts seeds, and they have maturity dates anywhere from 80 days to 100 days, and I will take these to my Zone 7 garden in early July, and we'll plant them out there. But I'll let you see how things go as they progress. So let's get started with potting up the sweet potato vine. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to do today, since I planted these, I have put water in the bottom tray, but now I want to be sure that the seeds will get moisture from the top. But since the seeds of Brussels sprouts are very small, like most brassicas are, I want to spray the top so that they get the moisture from the top. And I'll be sure, since these will be outside and not in the grow room, that every day I check them excuse me, and if they need more moisture on the top until they germinate, I'll be sure to spray them. And what this does is it allows me to pretty much saturate the top without worrying about dislodging where the seed is planted. That's why it's good to have different ways to water your garden depending on what your needs are. And I don't know if you've seen, I do use a couple of different kinds of watering cans throughout the garden. And from time to time I'll mention why I'm using them. So now that this job is done, I'm going to go put these in the greenhouse, and we'll keep an eye on them. Okay, I just wanted to show you something I noticed about the sweet potato roots. If you can see them, right at the bottom, see those little like brown spots? I wonder if that's where the sweet potatoes will grow from. So I just thought I'd show you because they look like they're trying to bulb a little bit. So let's get to planting those in the pots. I already filled these containers with the potting mix that I make with the peat moss, compost, and some vermiculite. And I poked a hole in each one. And let's see how we do putting these into each pot. I use the squares just because they're so much easier in these trays. So let's see, hopefully, I'm going to take that leaf off because it does look like it's a little bit, and let's see, wow, look at that root system. Okay, maybe this isn't going to work. Maybe it's not deep enough. I have to see. I don't think it's going to be deep enough. I'm going to have to try something else, maybe deeper pots. Let's try it. Maybe I shouldn't have filled them with soil first. Alright, let's try plan B. Okay, our plan B, I took the soil out of the pot. So now I have the empty square pot. I'm going to take our sweet potato, put it all the way in. This is something I was hoping to not get my hands too dirty with. But let's hold that there. I was thinking I could do it in the red cups, but I don't have enough red cups. So this is going to have to work. I'm going to have to fill it a little bit more because there are some roots at the top. I'm going to plant them out first, and then I'll go and I'll put more soil into each container. Let's see. It looks like they're just going to fit. I want you to be able to see this for at least a couple of them, but this is all I'm doing. I'm just dropping the soil around it that was originally in the pot. I put it all the way down to the bottom, the vine. Yep, there's roots out on that one, so I'm going to have to put extra soil. So let me do the rest, and I'll bring you back when I'm done. Learn something new every day. Now I'll have to make a note in my journal so I know what to do for next year. More red cups. Okay, so I got each one of these planted. I added a little bit more soil to try to cover the roots. A couple of them I couldn't get because they're up too high, so I'm hoping they'll do okay. I'm going to give them to use the Miracle-Gro tomato plant food. It's also good for any vegetable, and it is water soluble, so they will get those nutrients right away. I did it at half strength, and I apologize for the noise. I have a neighbor getting a new roof. So I'm just going to water those in very well. I have not fed them at all since they were in the water, so that's why I chose to do a feed right now. I noticed that some of the leaves were a little bit yellow, and generally that means that your plant needs some type of nutrition that they're not getting. So that's why I chose to do the water soluble, because I know they'll get it right away. And as I said, I'm using it at half strength. Please keep in mind, I've never grown these before, so I have no real idea of what I'm doing. I'm just following what I've seen other people do or what I've read. So I'm glad you came along on this journey for the sweet potatoes with me. It'll probably be another week or two before I actually plant them out. I want to be sure the nights will be warm enough. So I hope you learned something from today's video. Thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you learned something. Leave me a comment. I always love to hear from you. And have a great day. Happy gardening.